What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be starting the EXO bumper build on the Mustang. It is finally time to build a front bumper for the Mustang. I've been wanting to do this for a while now. I actually built this bash bar, I don't even know, probably 6 months ago. If you want to see how I built that, I'll put a link in my description. Also probably link it up at the top of the screen. So I built that. That was just super simple, basic. That was to get rid of the stock bumper bar, because the stock bumper bar was like really wide and like covered like half of the intercooler. So I wanted to be able to see the intercooler and get a little bit better cooling to it. So I built this kind of trapezoidal little bash bar here. So now it's time to add to this to really make more of a front bumper or full bash bar, EXO bumper, whatever you want to call it. So just a little side note for the Mustang, I haven't really done much to it in the past couple months because I really liked where it was at and I was just enjoying it, taking it to a couple car shows and stuff, just driving it around. It's running great, it's super fun, but now I'm ready to start doing a lot more to it, make it a little bit more unique, more my style, make it stand out a little bit more. I'll admit I definitely don't have a set plan for this bumper. I've been sketching up a lot of different stuff for a while now. Nothing looks quite right, so I'm just gonna start building and see where it takes me. But roughly I'm gonna be adding a couple bars out here that kind of will slant back, kind of follow the headlights here. Maybe come down the side a little bit. I'm not sure exactly the shape on the side here, maybe go back at an angle or the opposite way. But I'm just gonna basically start building and see what I like, see what I don't like. One of the other goals of this is to get rid of these intercooler mounting brackets here. So if you watched my series on installing the turbo, this piece was kind of provided with the kit, but it was pretty much trash. So I had to kind of customize that, and then I built this one to mount the other side of the intercooler. So they don't look that great, and they're not even the same at all. They're just kind of chilling in there. So one of the other goals of this is I'm gonna be putting a bracket off here and here on this bar to mount the intercooler, so that'll kind of just go straight flush back, and then you won't see any bars in there. Here's the material I got to start this build. So if you can obviously see this is actually square tubing. I think that's 1.5 inch square tubing. But for the rest of it, I got this. This is 1 inch steel tubing. So it's pretty basic stuff. It's 1 inch hot rolled, welded tube. So that's what I'm gonna be using for the rest of it. And I purposely got 1 inch because I didn't want this to look too big and bulky on the front of here. I didn't want it to look like a, you know, an off-road bash bar for like a SUV or a pickup or something. So I want it to still look kind of simple, sleek, small, not too big and bulky. So that's why I went with the 1 inch. So what I'm gonna be doing today is it's gonna be kind of a prep day. I'm gonna be removing this bash bar. And then since it's painted, obviously I'm gonna need to be taking off the paint in the areas where I'll be welding to and all around that. So that'll be a lot on the top side for those brackets I mentioned. So I'm gonna have to grind off a lot of paint around here. I know I'm gonna be attaching a tube probably up here, so grind off a lot of paint there. So basically get this current bash bar set up and ready to now add the additional tubing to it. So that's the plan for today. We'll see how far we get. Now, as you can see, I got the old bash bar paint ground off in the areas where I know I'm gonna be attaching to. So before I put it back on the car, I actually figured I can start adding these extension pieces onto the square tubing. So I'm gonna measure and cut those, and then I can actually tack them on before I even put everything back on the car. So that's what I'll do now. I've got both of my extension pieces cut now. So next up, I can weld them in place to extend these side tubes. So now I've got the extension pieces welded on, and I actually ended up just doing the entire weld the whole way around. It's a little easier to deal with right now in comparison to when there's a bunch of extra tubing connected to it, so I figured I might as well do the entire weld. So next time I'm gonna bolt it back up on the car and start laying out all the rest of the tubing and see if I can figure out how this thing's gonna look.